Welcome to Seymour's World on Think Tech Hawaii. Thank you very much for the hundreds of emails and texts on the program we had last week, To Dream the Impossible Dream. It was really amazing how we talked about change and how we talked about misfortunes and how to change those misfortunes into good deeds. And I heard so many wonderful stories from a lot of you people out in the audience, and I really appreciate that you do comment and that you do send me notes and sometimes tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about and sometimes tell me that I'm saying the right thing. And today's show is even a more special show. You all know that I have a program called Make 'Em Smile, where we bring musicians into the hospitals and they play for all the sick kids in 8 different hospitals here in Hawaii. And right now we're playing for 4,000 kids a year, and it's wonderful. And one of the first musicians we had that came into our program was this young man, Jason Allen. And Jason, I want to thank you so much for joining Make 'Em Smile and for doing what you do for Make 'Em Smile.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Seymour. Really is.
But more important than that is that we have established a wonderful relationship over the last 3 years. And I learned from you just recently that you have established your own ministry and you want to help people more than just playing for people in the hospitals. And I want to explore that, and I want you in the audience to know that Jason is not just a magnificent musician who plays for all sorts of functions, comes to the hospital as often as he can, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a month, and don't forget, he does this for nothing. He also teaches it at schools. He also has a ministry where he's helping young people get through their problems. And he said to me the other day, he said, Seymour, Make 'Em Smile was a catalyst in my life. And I said, what do you mean? And he started to explain it, and I felt that we should do a special program on it. And we should do a program with you, Jason, where we talk about your music, addiction, and then the ministry, and how it all led from one step to another step until you are who you are today, which is such a contributing member to our society. So maybe we need to tell people who you are first. Tell us a little bit about where you were born and that kind of stuff.
Well, Seymour, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. I grew up and was born and raised there. I came out here in '95 after I finished high school. So at 18, I moved to Hawaii to attend UH, and I never left. So I just made 20 years here last summer.
But you're only 22.
So, yeah. I wish.
Go ahead.
Time flies. But I grew up in Phoenix. I have a Korean mother from Korea. My dad is a Southern boy from Alabama, but lived in Phoenix for a lot of his upbringing. And after my dad met my mom in Korea in the Army, they moved back to Phoenix. And that's where I was raised. And started playing music at a young age. I had an older brother who took piano lessons before me, but I used to go to his lessons and learn his material at 4 or 5 years old. And then eventually my parents came along and said, hey, maybe you should give you your own lessons. So as a very young child, I started playing piano. And from then I started singing in a boys' choir, the Phoenix Boys Choir.
Wow.
And I was singing for the choir a good number of years. And that's where I got my training. I really got my love for music, was with piano and singing.
And then you moved to Hawaii, and you went to UH for music? You
I
went
did.
to our music school here.
I did. I got a Bachelor of Music and Composition. So at that time, I was looking forward to maybe being an orchestral songwriter, maybe film scoring, those kind of things. So I got a degree in composition. And but while I was in school, I had started performing a little bit and playing keyboards for different acts and things. And then I saw a lot of need for people playing guitar and solo musicians in Waikiki. So I taught myself how to play guitar when I was about 18 or 19, so I could start playing gigs.
And not Hawaiian music, right?
And not Hawaiian music,
right.
No. You know,
so you're playing contemporary, rock,
yeah,
pop.
more rock and pop and things, stuff that I grew up listening to. You know, my dad was a big folk guy. So, you know, 70s folk music, Jim Croce, you know, Elton John, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Yeah, just that kind of that style. So that was my style. And so I really found a niche. In Waikiki, I was able to really find a lot of work. So as I got my degree in music, instead of pursuing a graduate school or going on with that line of my career, I started playing a lot. and playing weddings and bars and restaurants and things like that. Yeah.
And when you did that, you got married, and you have your daughter, who I've met, who follows in Dad's footsteps because she's a dancer and a wonderful singer.
She is.
And you know, Jason brings his daughter to the Make 'Em Smile program, and I think that's good for her and wonderful for the kids too in the hospital, because I've seen her grow over the last year or two, where she was very timid and worried right at the beginning, and now of course she's very comfortable with interacting with the kids in the hospital, and that comes from you.
Well, she's blossoming into a fabulous young woman. She's always had an amazing heart, but now just seeing her come into her own like that, like you said, the comfortability of being around others and performing, and she's an amazing young lady. I'm very blessed.
And of course, you're not a proud dad, right?
Not at all.
We all are. We
yeah,
all
very
are.
proud.
I have to ask you, Jason. When we met at Make 'Em Smile, my wife Sue said, "This is the nicest guy in the world." And she said, "But Seymour, I mean, he's so willing to give." Was that your natural self, or were you already starting to get into alcohol and drugs and things that we associate with musicians?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. The timing was really ordained by God for me, just to look back at how all this stuff kind of lined up. When I started doing Make 'Em Smile, I was seriously burnt out in the music scene. I had spent a good 12, 15 years in the nightclubs and restaurants every night of the week. And so thinking that to be successful in music was my goal and was gonna make me happy. And it really had gotten me to a point where I was pretty broken, just tired, not feeling like I was really pouring into myself and giving anything back. You know, we can't give away what we don't have.
Right. But
And
did
so,
that lead to drugs and alcohol?
Yeah, so
I mean, we always hear a lot about musicians being into that scene, but I want people to know that it's not a necessary part of music, but it's something that happens very often because the music business in itself is in bars, and you do drink, and drugs are around, so you do it. Why did you do it? What do you think? Why is the reason that you got into it?
Well, you know, it was a lot of the environment, and it was the environment coupled with wanting to be accepted, and that on top with you know, any unresolved pain or struggle that I've had, failure that I've had in my life up to that point, not feeling like I've really gotten as far as I should have, or have done the things that I thought I was going to do by this certain age. And we put pressure on ourselves. You know, by 25 I'm going to be here, by 30 I'm going to be here. I think it was a mixture of all those things. And you know, when you're in a bar every night performing, and people are being entertained by you, and they're giving you that attention, and it's a party atmosphere, you know, one drink turns to 3 to 5 to 10 drinks really, really quickly. And once you start living that lifestyle, you know, your cares pretty much go to the wind. And then next thing you know, everything else is in front of you. You're doing drugs, or you're getting involved in relationships that you shouldn't be involved in. So you make a lot of bad decisions being in that environment over and over again if you're not solid on who you are.
Could I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Were you a functioning musician or a functioning alcoholic, or you were?
I was highly functioning. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. You know, Seymour, one thing I prided myself on was always showing up. And
Which you have for Make 'Em Smile.
You know, and it was, even when I was out of control, that was one thing I felt I could control. But you know, it was a lie. It was a lie. You know, it only furthered my downward spiral because I was so highly functioning. And a lot of it stems back from when I first started performing in public. I was nervous. I had a lot of nerve issues. I had a lot of fear and anxiety as a child. I'd have night terrors. I was always an anxious kid. And so when I started performing, you know, I would have to do shots sometimes just to calm my nerves enough, just to not shake and sweat to death while I was on stage. So it became a part of my natural performance.
So that was part of the routine.
Part of the routine.
To drink. And this journey that you were on, what happened when you hit Make 'Em Smile? You say that was a big transition part for you.
You know, well, to take it back just a little bit before Make 'Em Smile. Make 'Em Smile is going about 3 years now, right? And about a year before that, I had started playing some music. I had a friend that did music at a church, and so I started helping, you know, here and there at the church on Sunday mornings. And here I was, a musician in the bars and restaurants, and still very active in that scene. But on Sunday morning, I was going to worship and using my talents there. And there I felt so much grace, because here I was still not happy with who I am, maybe even still hungover from the night before. Yet people will come up to me all the time and be like, wow, your performance just blessed me, your worship just blesses me, your talents bless me. And I was like, wow, really? You know, and so from there I started thinking about, there's just more to this gift than just making money and living in the bar scene, in the restaurant scene. And that's when the Make 'em Smile program started coming into fruition as well for me. Here I was being able to take my gift, the thing that I had really tried to use to gain acceptance and gain monetary wealth, and to feel important, and I was able to pour that into someone else, and to use that to change the atmosphere of the hospital, where I could actually bring, you know, some smiles and life to people.
And how did it affect you? When you went and played for 2 hours, it's not an easy thing to do. You're constantly going from room to room, or you're going to the rehab areas where the kids are. How did that affect you? What did it do to this person that was that required drugs and alcohol to either medicate themselves or to do whatever it was? We're going to talk about that in detail a little bit. But what did the program do when you went to play for the kids?
Wow, it took the focus off me. You know, I think a lot of the times we look at our own brokenness, we look at our own failure. We're so me-centered that everything that's going on with us gets so magnified, and it's hard to see with clear eyes the world around us. And when here I was feeling sorry for myself, caught up in my life, and when you're around these kids that are just struggling to survive, that have been dealt a hand that they had no you know, way of knowing, or didn't deserve any of the pain that they were going through, and some of the situations were so powerful for me to walk into a room and to be able to make just make someone smile for a moment, or the parents, you know, the parents that would be with their children, and I would see them week after week, and just tired and scared and broken, and to be able to sing a song for them, and just sometimes they need to cry. Sometimes they need to rejoice. Sometimes, you know, I would just be able to just to give them whatever they need. Just really seek, you know, Spirit speaking to me what I think that room needed, and to be able to play a song for them. Very powerful.
Yeah.
And it changed the way I saw myself.
Yeah.
And because I think it wasn't until I was able to take my eyes off myself that I realized how blessed I really was, that I could start moving forward into healing and really seeing the world as I needed to see it.
And this, of course, gives you the opportunity now to help others.
Yes.
Because you see it so clearly. You're making a picture for us, for all of us, to be able to understand that the world we live in, we really have to focus on ourselves. It's not about what other people think about us, which is one of the biggest issues, of course. And maybe as parents, we have to talk about that, you know. As parents, do we try to make our kids do things that we wanted for ourselves? Are we doing that emulation issue? And I think it's something we really have to try to help others understand. And we have to take a short break. But then I would like you to play some music for us, if you don't mind.
Sure, I'd love to.
Right after the break. And then talk about this transition, this journey, and how we can help other people understand what you have gone through and how your ministry now is helping others.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. This is Seymour's World with Jason Allen. We're having a wonderful discussion about Jason's life, his music, his addiction, and his ministry. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Donna Blanchard. I'm the host of Center Stage here on Think Tech Hawaii. I hope that you will tune in and watch the show. It is inspiring and uplifting and educational also. We talk with artists of all different ilk. We talk with them about what they do, how they do it, and most importantly, most dear to my heart, why they do it. And it never ceases to be fascinating when you get the answer to that question. I hope you'll join us on Center Stage, 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoons. Aloha.
Aloha. My name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island and the ER physician. Every other Tuesday, I get to host a show here on the Think Tech program about healthcare. We call it Healthcare in Hawaii. It's really enjoyable for me to bring other healthcare leaders from around the state to talk about our pressing issues. Hawaii has long been the health state but we need to keep up the momentum, the inertia, and with your help and with your participation, we can come and share all of the big issues that are pressing day to day. Thanks for joining us every Tuesday, alternating weeks from 2 to 2:45.
Hi, welcome back to Seymour's World. I'm Seymour Kazimirski. We're on Think Tech Hawaii. We are with my very good friend Jason Allen. He is one of our premier musicians in the state of Hawaii, one of our premier musicians with our Make 'em Smile program. And I think this show today is probably one of the most important shows I have had. So Jason, I've had a couple of people asking me, can you play something for us? Could you start us off with a song and then we'll talk more?
Sure, I'll play a song. This song reminds me of a time at Make 'em Smile where I sang for probably a 10-month-old baby. And I started singing this song, and the baby had no expression. I got to the chorus, and the baby started tearing up. Just a baby just crying. And I thought, wow, how powerful. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but girl, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world.
That's beautiful, Jason.
Thanks, Seymour.
Just beautiful. Wow. What a gift you have, young man. An absolute gift. But this gift has now gone further, Jason. It's gone into ministry.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the transition again from music, addiction, drugs, and into the ministry.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, kind of seeing that a gift that could be used for bigger purposes, not just for acceptance or for monetary gain, just to feel having some kind of purpose and worth in the world. I realized there was spiritual significance to what I could do. And so as I started transitioning, I really felt God calling me to surrender those gifts for Him. And part of that was the Make 'em Smile program, to being able to come and see the impact that I had on some of these children, these kids, and these adults by just being there in the presence of giving my gift, singing and encouraging. And then I started working at Kamehameha schools. I was the worship leader at the chapel on campus, and so I started pouring into some of the young kids there, being able to do music as ministry there on campus. And that led to me going back to school. And so I'm actually in a Master of Divinity program now, where I'm studying. I'm not quite sure exactly why I'm there, but I'm getting all the tools that I need to understand really our brokenness and relationships, and to really think about healing from the spiritual standpoint. You know, I was medicated in a lot of ways. I'm self-medicated, but I was also medicated by doctors. You know, I was told I had anxiety issues. I was told I was depressed, so I was given antidepressants. I was given Xanax. I was on all kinds of medications, Seymour, on top of the stuff that I was doing outside of that. So, you know, now I'm totally free. I'm free from all of it. And it's only because I've realized how loved I really am, and that I have a gift to give. And it's not by the world standards. It's not by what I thought I needed to be because the world said I needed to be, or from the brokenness, the fear, anxiety that I had in my heart. It's from the love that I receive from my faith. You know, I really believe that you know, it was through Christ who loves me so much that I'm able to give that spirit away, and I'm able to walk in that healing power. And so that's the kind of gift that I want to share now, is my healing. You know?
I was so impressed with you when you first started telling me about you wanting to learn about religion, and we spoke for a long time about me being Jewish and what it means, and how you respect religions for everything that they do for people.
Right.
Because religion in itself is not just going to a chapel or to a church or to a synagogue or you know, whatever place you want to pray in. It's also a very spiritual place where you can feel comfortable. Where when you go into any of those places, you automatically feel that you're in a special house.
Yes.
You're in a house of God. And in that place, a lot of these layers that we have on top of us disappear.
Yes.
And I've often felt that when I go into a synagogue, which unfortunately I don't go into often enough, that's one of my goals, I just find myself very, very comfortable. I don't seem to have all of those anxieties about my business, my children, my work, you know, everything that's around me normally is gone. And I think that's so important that you found that as one of your roads, one of your paths towards a better self.
Oh yeah, you know, for me, it's really the difference, because, you know, as Jesus says in the Bible, he talks in the Beatitudes and he says, you know, blessed are the pure in heart. And because I believe that you know, he's living within me now, I'm able to share that love that he's healed me with. It's actually healed me, and he's taken the space over in my heart. So really, church is wherever I bring him. He's really with me. And so what's great about the purity is being able to be open and honest about where we are. And that's something that was really important for me, and something that I'm trying to share with others, is that you know, a lot of times we're the best at convincing ourselves that we're okay. We're the best at making excuses for our own compulsive behaviors. And it's not just drugs and alcohol, Seymour. It's also shopping, gambling, anything that we do that we feel shame for doing, or that we realize that we don't have control over. It happens on so many levels because of some brokenness that's happening inside. You know, even there was times in my life, Seymour, where I got really healthy and I could take a break from the partying. I would take a month or two off. But I would be compulsive in a different behavior. I would go to the gym every day, and if I missed a day at the gym, I get angry. You know, so there's something about our brokenness that for me was only healed by understanding that that Jesus came and his love healed my heart, and it healed me on every level. And so when you talk about going to synagogue and you feel that presence, that's the presence I walk with every day. And it to me, that's the gift that I get to share with others, is no matter where I go, I can share that love and that openness.
I think what I found and what I'm hearing from you is the word self-acceptance. Those two words, one word, two words, that expression, self-acceptance, is tied very much into fears. The fear of change, for instance. And we talked about this on the show last week when I did To Dream the Impossible Dream. The fear of change is one of those things that make people stop in their tracks from doing what they can do. And all of us have fears.
We do.
And I think I mentioned to you, I have a program called You're in Charge, which is my foster kids program. And I had 12 new kids start last Wednesday. It's an 8-week program. And the first thing I talk to them about is that I have fears just like you do. And it's important for people to realize out there that it's what we need to do to make sure that ourselves feel comfortable. If our self does not feel comfortable, we'll be fearful of will we be accepted by so on and so forth.
Right.
The fear of change. All of those things are what makes you reach out for help.
Yes.
And you've reached out to God, to
Right.
Jesus in your case, to try to help you get through every single day.
Yes.
And it has worked, hasn't it?
And the beautiful thing about what you just said, Seymour, is that now I know that I only get better. I only become the me that I've been made to be by going through uncomfortability. See, I know that when I'm going through struggles or situations that are really difficult for me, for whatever reason, I know that they're for me. I know that with the help of Christ in me, the faith that I have, that I'm being changed to be more like Him, to be able to love without condition. And so a lot of the things that are uncomfortable for us are because we put up our own boundaries and standards because we want to be comfortable. But really, true comfort comes in peace. And peace is knowing that no matter what comes at you, it's for you. So even in difficult relationships that I'm struggling with, or even in ministry where I really want someone to get it, and I really want them to break through, I have to let go of that desire to want that and trust that I'm doing the right thing by just loving them where they're at, and trusting that that's enough to help the change come about. And so it's letting go of the need to control.
You're so right, and I could give you two very simple examples. In the world of business, I always, when I'm working with a client, I always say we have a wall of winners and we have a wall of losers. You cannot have a wall of winners without
the losers. Yeah,
you have to be willing to take chances and not be afraid of failure. Because if you're afraid of failure, you'll always be doubting yourself.
Yes.
It's extremely important to do that. I have another situation with my You're in Charge kids, my foster kids program that I have, and I don't graduate a lot of kids from my program. And I get very down on myself because I have 12 kids who start the program, and maybe I'll average 3 or 4 that graduate because I'm very strict with the rules that we prescribe as the way to live your life, and that's discipline, structure, passion, and support. Those are to me, the 4 pillars, the 4 pieces of foundation that are going to make any foster child be able to look through that tunnel and see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there are some that don't, and I come home and I say to Sue, well, 3 kids didn't show up. And
it's hard.
In my business, if 3 kids don't show up, they can't come the next time because they've lost it, and it's so difficult.
Because you want the best for them.
Of course.
You want the best.
We want the best for our
breakthrough.
kids. And
we do.
We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But
Yeah.
I think it's really important for our audience to understand that no matter who you are not perfect, but nobody else is perfect either.
That's right.
And to accept yourself the way you are, with your faults,
Yes.
even with all of your aspirations, with everything that you want to do with your life,
Yes.
you just accept yourself the way you are.
That's it. And Seymour, my failures have brought me to this point. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am. And so my failures are my strengths now, because I have more compassion. I have a story to tell. There's so much more to me because of my failure and because I've been healed. And it's more than just speaking about the healing. It's about having the freedom to live into that. And the freedom from not just the addictions and the compulsive behavior, but the freedom to share all the stuff that's been going on.
Well, I'm hearing that we need to go to a break, but I'd like you to play another song, if you don't mind, when we come back from break. And then I want to talk about the chains that hold people down from that freedom.
Yes.
What we need to do for our children, for ourselves, for our friends, what we need to do to make sure that they understand that those chains can be taken off, they can be broken.
Yes.
We're going to be back in a minute. I'm Seymour Kazimirski. The show is Seymour's World, where we have a very serious topic today with Jason. It's all about music, and it's all about addiction and ministry. And believe it or not, all of us have exactly the same thing. We all have our own addiction issues, whatever that may be, and we need to minister to ourselves. And I hope that you're getting as much out of this as I am. We have one more session after this, and we're going to talk about the freedoms that you get when you're able to understand that change is a necessary part of life. I'm Seymour Kazimirski. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello, I'm Stephen Katz, and I'm the host of Shrink Wrap, which comes to you live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on thinktechhawaii.com, and then it's repeated again whenever you want if you go to the website. On our show, we will be talking to all different kinds of therapists, psychologists, psychoanalysts, psychiatrists, people who talk about the mind, the brain, and about different ways to find happiness. I myself am a marriage and family therapist in practice here in Hawaii, and I hope you will join us because I've got a lot to learn, you've got a lot to learn, and it's a great ride. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Aloha! How you doing? It's me, Angus McTech, wishing you to welcome and join us to see us on Hibachi Talk on Think Tech Hawaii. Join my co-hosts, Gordo the Tech Czar and Andrew the Security Guy, every Friday from 1300 to 1345. We look forward to seeing you. We'll talk tech and we'll have some wee bit of fun. And remember, let your wing gang free wherever you be. Aloha!
Hi, welcome back to Seymour's World. I'm Seymour Kazimirski. Our guest is Jason Allen. I can't say enough about this young man. He's making me feel good about myself, and that's really something, because I, like you and everybody else around us, has our fears and has our doubts about what's going on in our lives. But he's giving me a very good understanding of how life really has to be treated from oneself. And Jason, the word freedom, the freedom, the taking off of those chains that hold us down from being who we are. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, for me, it's been the freedom that I've experienced in my life is rooted in the love that so many people know this, and even psychologists talk about this a lot, that we're either motivated from fear or we're either motivated by love. And I never really understood what that meant until I really met Jesus. For me, it was, that's where the freedom is, but it's because the love that he has for me that's poured into me, the acceptance of who I am, that everything that I've been through is part of my journey to become the best me possible. So instead of looking back at my past and going, oh man, I wish I would have done this better, or why did this happen, and feeling sorry for myself and beating myself up and living in shame and guilt that only promotes more bad behavior, by the way, the freedom has come with knowing that I'm loved exactly for who I am, where I'm at. There's so much grace on my life that I have something to give now, that I'm actually a better me because of what I went through. And so the freedom comes in just knowing how loved I am every day that I wake up and I get to pray, Lord, use me. Let me be a light in this dark world.
How do you share? You said you're sharing in your ministry, and tell us about the people that you're helping.
Well, I'm at Kailua Church of the Nazarene. I was placed there a little over a year ago, and I'm the worship leader at the church there. And I actually live there on campus, and it allows me to stay focused on my studies, which is great. But I started a Celebrate Recovery program there on Wednesday nights, which is a 12-step program, much like AA is, but it's biblically based and Christ-centered. And so it's not talking about doing more stuff like we do to stay busy, just in healthier reasons. We don't want to be chained to other things. Just because it's not alcohol or drug doesn't mean that it's still not freedom. We don't want to be chained to working out or chained to our jobs or chained to our relationships. We want freedom in everything. So it's really about sharing that love, being set free in the love of Christ, knowing that that all of it is really for us. And so I'm really trying to promote this at the church. And so we have this program on Wednesday nights. And
how many people do you have that come?
Well, it kind of varies. It's usually less than about 5 to 10 people. It's a new program, but what's great about it is that I get to speak about the healing that's going on in me. And I know God's doing a work in me to prepare me for whatever it is in the future as I finish school, as I get better at speaking about my testimony, that there's going to be a lot of chances to be able to speak more in the future. This is really the first time I've spoken in a public forum about this.
I know.
And so
I asked you whether you were going to be nervous about it, and you said no, you were looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And is that part of the healing for you?
Of course. I mean, the freedom has to look like something, Seymour. I meet people now that knew me before, and they ask me, like, what's going on? Like, who are you? Kind of thing, And I meet people that never knew my past. And when I share that with them, they can't believe it. They're trying to picture me in that place of imprisonment, in that place of bondage to ideas and to substances and to medications and to pleasing people. And when it looks like something, people ask questions. They want to know. And that's my ministry. My ministry is really being so set free in everything that I do that I don't have to bang a Bible over someone's head. It's really, I get to be myself, and I get to love people and meet them where they're at, and with no condition. And it's amazing that I get to do that. It's amazing.
When you do share with these young people, what is the reaction from them? I mean, I mentioned to you that my success rate in my foster kids program is maybe 30% or 40%. 1 year, maybe it was 50%. What do you find with these people? Do they keep coming back? Do you see the nurturing that you're giving them, maturing them?
Like we talked about earlier, I've had to learn to empty myself of being results driven, because it only leads to disappointment. Yeah, but it only deals disappointment. Seymour, for me, it's a faith issue. I have to really believe that as long as I'm loving people where they're at, that seeds are being planted by God for healing. And so, I try not to worry about it. But what's great about being able to share is that I'm sharing a success story, not by me, but really by the spirit of that success is through God. And so the great thing is that I'm sharing it, I'm saying that can be yours as well. This is not just uniquely me.
Right.
Like, there's so many of us that need healing on so many levels.
Let's talk for a minute, Jason, about society and what has happened. Most of our viewers, we have thousands of viewers, and they have children, and they've tried to motivate their kids and help them. And yet we seem to have, especially here in Hawaii, a greater addiction problem, a greater alcohol problem, a greater drug problem than some of the other places. Why is it? What do you think is the reason?
Well, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, and what we promote in the media, what the kids are seeing as success, is really has nothing to do with true success. We're promoting money, we're promoting material wealth, we're promoting fame. People are famous for being famous. They're not even doing anything anymore. They're just people being famous. And so we're promoting these ideals that not only are really. It's very few people can actually get to this place where they feel like they made it, but even the ones that do are abusing themselves so bad that it's nowhere that you'd want to be. And so people aren't getting fed on the spiritual level. We're teaching kids and showing people that a way of life that doesn't feed them, it doesn't bring out their purpose. And so I think what happens is once kids start seeing that it's hard to get that job or make that money, and it takes a lot of work, or they feel like they're a victim and they haven't had the opportunities, then it's a lot easier to medicate. It's a lot easier to have fun, to just, hey.
And it's easy to get, it's inexpensive to get.
It's easy to get, it's inexpensive to get. And then on the other end, you have really good parents that mean well, that really want the best for their kids. And they'll pour their life into them, but they'll pour the fear of their life into them. They'll pour their disappointments or their failures, and they'll push their kids in those areas. And then you have the same effect. You have parents out of fear trying to beat their kids into success. And then the kids will end up in the same place. So there's a lot of different ways that we're getting to the same problem. But I think the only true way that there's healing in this problem is for us to realize that we need to pour into the purpose of each child. We need to pour into the fact that they're made with unique gifts and abilities, and that they're loved for who they are, not for what they become, for who they are now.
I find peer pressure, it's an amazing fear that I see with a lot of the kids, especially when I go speak to high schools and colleges, and you see the cliques of different groups together.
Yes.
And if it's we talk about bullying a lot when I'm talking about the Holocaust, which I teach to colleges, and I find that the bullying is something that everybody understands. The bullies understand it just as much as the guys who are being bullied.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that maybe that's a little entry point that we can get into these kids to make them understand that being different is okay.
It's more than okay, it's essential.
Right.
For us to know how unique unique we are. Each person is so special in their own way. And we each have gifts that need to be nourished and developed. And sometimes we have ideas as parents, we want to push those. Sometimes they don't get enough nurturing. Whatever it is though, we have to want to pour into the spiritual aspect of making sure these kids realize, our world wants to make robots. We're promoting a society where everyone needs to be the same. That's where bullying comes from. You stand out. I don't want you to get more attention than me. It's just this really weird thing that's happening, whereas we're made with unique gifts. As adults, we understand this when we see the beauty of all the different friendships that we have. And for you, Seymour, being in business in all these different countries, and you get to see the beautiful variety and scope of humanity. But as children, we're trying to, in that world, they're trying to make everyone the same, and it's just a really interesting thing.
I have to say, from my perspective, Jason, the biggest gift that I get is when somebody comes up to me and says that I've touched them. In one way, just like you said with the Make 'em Smile was one of your catalysts, one of your transitions to getting to who you are. When I hear that from somebody, that just touches my heart. That's more important to me than all the money in the world, to know that I have affected somebody in a way that will make them a better person or make them have a better life. And it's not just giving money to people, that's nothing to do with it. It's all about really trying to do something for other people. I find that is my journey now. That's what I want to do.
And Seymour, you're good at it, and I bless you for it. And I'm just so grateful because I sense that with you, and it's just spirit that you live by, and people are changed by it, and that's the difference.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm getting a call that we want you to sing.
Okay.
So would you mind singing one song and taking us out?
Yeah.
Be wonderful. Let me just tell everybody again. Do you mind if I tell them how to get hold of you?
No, not at all.
All right. This is Jason Allen, and he is at which church?
Kailua Church of the Nazarene.
So that's Kailua Church of the Nazarene in Kailua.
Yeah, Oneava
And they
Street.
can also reach you by email at
Jason Allen Musician.
and that's JASONALAN
Musician
musician.
at gmail.com.
Okay, and that's at gmail.com. We will put that on the website
Great,
so that people can get hold of you, because I have a feeling you'll get a few people that want to talk to you.
I would love to speak to
It's
anyone
been
that wants
such
to.
a pleasure, Jason.
Thank you, Seymour.
I knew this talk we were going to have today was going to touch me, and I think it's going to touch many, many, many people in our audience.
I'm praying so.
It's wonderful. Please
Amen.
go ahead.
Thank you. So just speaking about the love, being changed by the love. No, I can't get enough. No, I can't get enough of your amazing love. No, I can't get enough. No, I can't walk away. No, I can't walk away. For I have seen your face, and I can't walk away. And I just want to be where you are. And I just want to be near your heart. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. And I just want to be where you are. And I just want to be near your heart. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love.
Thank you so much, Jason.
You're welcome,
What a
Seymour. Thank you for
pleasure.
having me.
I'm very, very happy. We had a great show today with my friend, and a great musician and soon to be a full. Are you a minister now?
I'm working in ministry,
He's
but
working in
I'm not
ministry.
ordained yet.
Oh, we're very, very close to it. Please join us next week. My name is Seymour Kazimirski on Seymour's World at Think Tech Hawaii. Aloha.